Bonjour la famille. Vous savez, chaque pays a ses difficultés et ses challenges et c'est pareil pour le Canada. Donc, dans cette vidéo, je veux vous parler des réalités de la vie au Canada dans le but de mieux vous préparer lorsque vous allez arriver dans ce pays. Comme je l'ai dit dans une précédente vidéo, la vie au Canada en 2016 n'est pas la vie au Canada en 2024, ni la vie au Canada en 2025. Pour mieux vous illustrer ce que j'ai envie de partager avec vous, je me suis dit que ce serait pertinent de vous partager des témoignages des jeunes Canadiens qui eux-mêmes sont venus sur les réseaux sociaux nous partager les difficultés qu'ils rencontrent au quotidien face à la vie actuelle au Canada. Donc, je vous laisse regarder leurs témoignages et ensuite de ça, vous pourrez me partager vos différents points de vue dans les commentaires. Bon visionnement.
Imagine working 40 plus hours a week and still not being able to afford life. Like, we have our own people out here living like this because they can't afford life here in Canada, but Canada is supposed to be one of the best countries or the best country to live in. Makes me sick to my stomach, to be honest. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is $1,800. But yeah, y'all are still out here supporting people with hundreds of thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars on baby registries, on GoFundMes, and all this different stuff. But instead of helping the people that actually need it, if you're fortunate enough to help.
In the past, when I would talk to people that I know who was out of work, who told me they were out of work for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, even though I try hard to be not judgmental, there would always be a part of me that was thinking, you gotta be sabotaging yourself. There's something that you're doing to purposely not be hireable. Like, I wouldn't want to judge, but like, it was so hard to believe that someone who was actively looking for a job and who was qualified for a lot of jobs could not find a job. But I find myself now in the position where it is near to impossible to get a job in the city. Now, obviously, when you're in the market for a new job, you want to try to find a job that is similar to the previous job that you had so that you can utilize your skill set and your, education and your experiences to be successful at your new job. So you don't have to go through all of this vigorous training and all of this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of the times when you try to find a job that was similar to the previous job that you had, there is going to be so many people that are equally, if not more qualified than you, more education, more work experience, better personality, can hold their fucking breath underwater longer than you, can run longer distance than you, that will make them a better candidate and will allow or make the hiring manager choose them over you. So after being rejected time and time again, you then look at the other side of the train track and say, you know what, let me go after a job where I might be overqualified. Maybe I might have to take a pay cut, but at the end of the day, the main goal is to get some sort of employment. But the problem you face with applying for a job that you're overqualified is that the hiring manager or the person that's, responsible for hiring, whatever, they look at your resume, they see your credentials, they see your work experience, they see your skill set, they see your education, and immediately think that because you're so overqualified, you're not serious about the job. The second that you find something better, you're out the door. So why waste time training you? Why waste time, why waste time and energy in you when you are not serious about staying long term? So on one end of the spectrum, you go after jobs that you are qualified for, and then obviously someone that's way more qualified gets it. And then when you go after jobs that you're overqualified for, then they're scared to choose you because they fear that you're just going to leave them. So then you're stuck in the middle. No job, wilting away like a fucking houseplant in the middle of winter. I swear, the longer you go with being unemployed, the more desperate you get, and your expectations dwindle. When I first was looking for a job, I was very specific in what I was looking for. I looked at the pay, I looked at the, obviously the qualifications, I looked at what I actually be doing. And at this point, after facing so much rejection, I will take a job fucking milking cows. I will take a job stomping fucking grapes to make wine at this point. like I say all of this to say this, like, just looking for a job is depressing, you know, and it's like a lose-lose situation. You put in the effort, you put in the time, you put in the dedication for nothing. Like, so I feel for everyone out there that is going through that, who have been out of work for months on end, I feel for you, okay? And I pray that you find your dream job, and I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna go fucking have a glass of wine with some gummy bears.
So a lot of my friends and family, particular in Jamaica, asking me what is my experience being in Canada, because they want to make the transition. Now, this video is not to discourage anybody from coming to Canada. If you feel like Canada is a place that you want to come and live and, you know, start your family, feel free. Don't let this discourage you. But I want to share the realities of Canada. I've been here for the last almost 6 years, and Canada has been, it's different. From after COVID, Canada has changed significantly in a number of areas. And I'll speak to some of the areas that I think Canada changed a lot in. When it comes down to taxes, Canada, I think, have one of the highest taxes in the world. So the more money you earn, the more tax you pay in Canada. It's like the higher you climb is the higher the government take money out of your pay. So you're paying, as I'm up to 47% of your income in Canada that goes to tax. So it's very, 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 very tax heavy in Canada. The other thing that I noticed in Canada is that after COVID, the price of food went right through the doors. Like, literally, you can go to supermarket with 100 Canadian dollar and you come out back with absolutely nothing. Just two, probably, if you get 2 bags with $100, you get a lot. Food over the last 2 years, particularly 3 years, skyrocket high. The cost of living versus what you're getting for your pay, what you're getting to buy for food, absolutely ridiculous. The other thing is rent. Now, Canada have this. So before COVID, you could get a 2-bedroom for like 1,100 Canadian dollars, $1,200. Now, after COVID, the same apartment, the apartment that I live on, I got my apartment before COVID, so I got in a very comfortable rate for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, I have some friends who moved from Jamaica, and there are some vacancies on this apartment, and they live here, and they're paying $1,800 for the same 2-bedroom. And when they move, the landlord charging $2,200 for the same 2-bedroom. So rent in Canada, it's very, very, very expensive. When you talk about the healthcare, now Canada have free healthcare because they use the taxes that we pay to provide free healthcare. But when you go to the hospital, it's no different from an underdeveloped country where you're waiting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, literally you're waiting for 8 hours. You go to the hospital from 7 a.m. in the morning, you're not getting through, and I kid you not, you're not getting through until around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. That's when you actually get to see a doctor, because there is a shortage in the healthcare workers. There is no doctor, and you can't go to a private doctor. You can't say, all right, you have your money, so you're going to go to a private doctor. Canada not deal with private doctor. The rich, the poor, everybody goes to one hospital. Furthermore, you can't even get a family doctor. There's a 6 months waiting list to even get a family doctor here in Canada. The other challenge with the reality of Canada is, honestly, Canada boring. Canada boring. There is nothing to do. It's good when you have like your own community, that you can have that level of culture. You know, you have your Jamaican community, you have the other ethnic groups who have their community. Community is big. If you don't have a community in Canada, man, Canada is boring. Now have nothing to do. So I'm grateful that here we form a nice little community where people can display culture, you can talk your language, you can cook your food, and you just feel Jamaican. Without that being present, Canada boring. So a lot of people just work in Canada and save them money so that they can travel to different countries. That's what I've been doing over the last couple of years. Like me, I can't stay 12 months in Canada. It's not possible. It's not possible. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Canada is still good in some instances where, you know, the crime and violence is not as bad. They have good gun laws, but overall, if you're not a strong person, if you don't have community and you don't have the support, Canada is very, very depressing. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm not discouraging anybody from coming. You can come and you may find it to be good. The other thing is I want to mention is that with this current government, what they're doing, they're reversing a number of the immigration programs that they had for people to get easy access in Canada. So a lot of temporary residents, a lot of people going back to their countries. Trust me, if you do the research right now, a lot of people going back to their countries because people just cannot afford to live in Canada anymore, or the government make it so difficult for persons now to obtain permanent residence in this country. But still grateful to be here, but I just wish things will change soon. That's just my reality of Canada.